Start of a dormer conversion job here, so let's get to it. The complication with this one is the upstairs sockets are also linked to quite a few of the downstairs ones in the living and dining areas. So although we're running new circuits for the first floor, eventually we do need to still isolate the circuit itself so we can keep the ground floor in situ because they're not getting involved in any wiring down there. So basically we're going to take out all the first floor socket accessories and then bump it down to a 20 amp radial, so it'll effectively do the living and dining downstairs as a radial circuit. We can then run new circuits upstairs. I will add the carpets were already coming out. This wasn't just a gun-ho approach to removing floors. Once they were out, we could start looking at the floorboards where the sockets were and getting them up so we could get to the cabling below. That is definitely a man in the zone. Next thing was to check the power and go and isolate it and find out what circuit was doing what. I do love a fuse board we've previously worked on, it just makes life so much easier. Once we were safely isolated, it was a case of pulling apart all the old junctions, trying to trace the cables back and getting them to points where we could relink them together with some permanent connectors and keep them under the floor. Once the cabling was safely isolated under the floor, the remaining cables could be cut out and all the accessories too. Did have to have a good look around though, as there were some hidden junction boxes in the eaves cupboards and things too, so didn't want to miss those out. With the old bits gone, it was time to get out the last few connectors and start making off the last JBs and getting them back under the floor again. So all went according to plan. We now had a safely isolated ground floor circuit of the living and dining room on a 20 amp radial, and it means we can run new radial circuits for power and lighting up to this area once it's been constructed properly. The last thing was to re-energise the circuit and make sure we had power back at all the areas we really needed, including the most crucial parts. Lucky for us. And that was that. Stay tuned for a part 2 on this one for the actual wiring.